Hi, this is Molly and welcome to my YouTube channel. We're going to take a look at the Aries New Moon, which is happening on March 24th, 2020. It is exact at 2:28 a.m. That's Pacific time, so be sure and adjust to your place on the planet. Now, every new moon is when the sun and the moon meet up at the exact same degree and minute. In this case, it's 4 degrees of Aries and 12 minutes, and they are conjunct. The feminine and the masculine giving each other a hug, uniting, and getting on the same page as to what the intention is in this new cycle. Now, Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. It's the first sign of the zodiac, and it's when we begin the whole astrological year. So it's basically a new year intention. What do you wish to create in the next 12 months? This is a bigger new moon energy. This is when you really look at what am I here to develop, grow, and expand over the course of 2020 and into 2021. That is a big question, yes. And what is also important is that you can see how the sun and the moon are conjunct Chiron, which is at 5 degrees of Aries, 17 minutes, a near exact conjunction, about a degree apart, and really emphasizing this Chiron healing theme, that the next year, this whole cycle, we are healing parts of ourselves, our self-identity, that perhaps we haven't been aware of. Chiron is the wounded healer. It's where we feel vulnerable, and that vulnerability is meant to be a catalyst into deeper soul healing. In fact, Chiron is a bridge. It's a bridge to healing. It's a bridge to more self-knowingness. It's an opening to more of your gifts and abilities that you wouldn't normally understand if you weren't aware of the vulnerability, of the fear, or of the healing that needs to take place. So this is a strong catalyst energy for deeper healing that's working with each of us. And you would look at where 4 degrees and 5 degrees of Aries is in your natal chart. So the new moon is on March 24th. The sun will be exactly conjunct Chiron on March 25th. So there is an opening energy here into what your soul has been carrying for lifetimes, part of your self-identity, part of your self-understanding, that now you're being asked to look at and to own with greater confidence. And this will be a part of the theme for the next 12 months. So that's why you want to be very clear around what is calling to you within the Aries energies in your chart that are here for your soul expansion, soul healing, and deeper soul knowingness. Some other things that can come up with this energy is that Aries is associated with the masculine, with our own masculine energy, with our ego, with our desires, with what we want. It's the energy of a beginning point, of an initiation, of something new and fresh that's being identified within you that you want to create, that you want to go after. Aries is the energy of how we can understand more of who we are, but there's also the lower expressions, which could be healing anger, healing impatience, healing immaturity, healing the parts of us that want something now, but you have to work for it. Healing where you haven't believed in yourself. Healing where you've lacked courage to be who you truly are. So you can see how these are some of the themes that are coming up strongly during this March new moon, and that you'll actually be working with over the next cycle. So then what we want to do is follow the energy trail. So Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is now the ruler of this new moon, and Mars is in a very intense energy here, as Mars is at 25 degrees of Capricorn, 31 minutes, just passing that conjunction to Pluto, which was at 24 degrees Capricorn, and Jupiter at 23 degrees of Capricorn. This Mars is powered up and perhaps has experienced some kind of destruction or deep transformative change that could not be ignored. Again, Mars is related to what we want in the world, how we show up in the world, how we're going after our dreams, our desires, our ambitions, how our world is changing, how our careers are changing, how we're staying mature and responsible with ourselves. This is a very intense, it's the most intense placement of Mars, in fact, because conjunct Pluto is life-changing, is transformative. Something cannot be ignored or denied, is revealed. There's a no going back. Every time a planet is conjunct Pluto, Pluto changes the energy of that area of ourselves permanently, because that's both the destruction, but the creation, the transformation of Pluto, the soul's evolution. So this is a very intense time for Mars. Mars is also an activator and a trigger. So Mars comes through and triggers these energies and activates what needs to happen next. It's very dynamic. So there's a lot of intensity happening in the world, which is Capricorn, during this new moon. And Mars is about to make a conjunction with Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius 1 week later on March 31st. So 1 week after this new moon. And that's going to be a standstill, a stop, taking a breath and checking in. So Mars is going through a very big journey right now. In fact, throughout all of March, it has been quite intense. And I feel like it's essentially changing the constructs of our egos, of what we have done in the world, what we've gone after. We're looking at, what do I want now? What do I want next? Where am I headed? What am I doing? You know, this is the Mars desire, action, making things happen in the world. And it's all being renovated, and it's going to be coming to a stop. So there's a lot of intensity here. There's a lot of intensity here that strongly correlates with the energies of the new moon. March is a game changer month because of how big the astrology is. You can see how Jupiter is now coming through to make an exact conjunction to Pluto. But this is a slow-moving exact conjunction. Jupiter gets to 24 degrees of Capricorn March 27th, 28th, and then won't be conjunct Pluto exactly until April 4th. The energies have not peaked. Global energies are still growing, developing, changing, transforming. It's not over yet. Like, we haven't reached a peaking point in the world during this new moon. But this is where we can see how the healing that's needed is coming through and speaking to each of us in its own way. So trust what you're hearing. See how this Mercury is at 6 degrees of Pisces. This is in the shadow zone of that retrograde that we had throughout February. So this is now a Mercury who understands the power of listening and receiving information to get out of his own mind and to understand what's coming through that can be trusted, even when it can't be understood. So you could even feel like you're being intuitively guided during this time, that the information isn't quite clear, but you're sensing what is happening or what you need to do for yourself, especially during this new beginning point of the Aries new moon. Another energy that's showing up here is that you can see how both the sun, the moon, and Chiron are actually squaring the north node, which I have here at 3 degrees of Cancer. Now, this square is about not knowing where to go or not knowing what is home. What does home look like? The shifting dynamics of where we feel safe in the world, because this North Node in Cancer has been teaching us to trust ourselves, trust our hearts, trust our needs, trust what is in you that maybe gets overpowered. This is a very feminine energy, and this is a very masculine energy. So the masculine energies are quite strong right now, not only in Aries, but with this Mars being really revved up. And it could feel like, where am I safe? What can I trust in myself? what is right for my own needs. Cancer is about the family, the home base. It's about where you go at the end of the day. And it's like you could feel overrun. These strong energies of things being new and changing can feel like they're taking over what you thought was safe. But that's only an illusion, because the truth is you always travel with your safety. You always travel with what you need within you. So this is about going into your heart, nurturing yourself there, feeling safe, feeling comforted there, and knowing that this North Node in Cancer, it's about to change into Gemini later on in about a month or so. So it's finishing up its journey in Cancer. It's returning you back to a 0 point of innocence and purity, that you can absolutely trust yourself even more now. And nodes travel in reverse. They do this sweeping out, or this clearing out of what has been unconscious. So as the North Node is now at 3 degrees and will go to 0 degrees of Cancer, there's a return to consciousness around what's in your heart, what's in your feminine self, how you travel with everything you need, and how you can trust yourself. And that's one of the gifts of this North Node in Cancer, is how you've learned to trust yourself even more as it's journeyed through Cancer over the past 18 months. A few other energies to highlight for you is how Venus is in her home sign of Taurus. She's at 20 degrees of Taurus here, and she's about to make beneficial trines to both Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. And this is going to be happening the week after this new moon. She's going to get to 23 and then 24 degrees of Taurus, and she's going to receive a jolt of something realistic and practical coming through. Venus in Taurus is our sense of resources in the world. It's money, it's finances, it's how we take care of our own needs. It's our ability to be aware of what we need to survive. It's how we feel loved and supported, how we receive, and how we feel worthy to receive. And Venus is going to make the exact connections to both Jupiter and Pluto March 27th, 28th. And there's something dynamic and powerful about the trine to Venus. And it could be something coming through that supports you from these Capricorn structures, officials, entities, a plan, a direction, a solution, something big and dynamic showing up that supports what people need to receive right now. So be on the lookout for that towards the end of March, because I think that this is going to bring something beneficial and, of course, timely, because of how Venus is how we care for ourselves and what we need in our lives. So be aware of that. So it's quite an interesting new moon as it's conjunct Chiron, and as Mars is undergoing very big dynamic energies here. Remember, March is where we're changing things in our lives, and it's really setting the stage for the next 6 months or so. I have a podcast video for you on this Jupiter Pluto conjunction that happens 3 times throughout 2020. So whatever is beginning in March, right now, whatever is beginning now, whatever is changing in your life, whatever is new and coming forward, you're going to be working on it into November. So that can help with expectations, that can help with understanding the energy patterns, and that can help with preparing and doing what you need to do for more of the long run and less of the short term. We are seeing the world change in very big, huge ways, and we are a part of that. And we are here with the light, we are here with consciousness, we are here of awareness that this is what's needed. And the more that you show up with the ability to do your own healing work and to be strong in who you are, the more powerful you're going to feel and the more powerful you are going to show up during these big global changes. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I do offer monthly soul growth webinars where I talk about what is happening over the month, and that's a way for you to follow along in your astrology chart, to see the transits, to see the energies, and to see what is showing up for you in what areas of your life. So be sure to check that out below this video. Otherwise, I will see you back here soon for the Libra full moon that's happening in April. And of course, you can join me for my weekly podcast every Monday and Wednesday. Thank you, friends, and I'll see you soon.